What is happening? How is everybody doing this evening? My name is Tony Kimmel. I'm your host of Transforming Lives. I'm excited that you decided to join us. Now, what I need you to do right now is on your page, what I need you to do is share this. I need you to start a watch party because we have a special guest that's on this week. And we're just talking with genuine people with real lives. You know, our mission is to allow people from our communities to share their story to encourage others to live a transformed life. You know, my guest tonight, he's definitely no stranger. He's known me all my life, and I've known him almost all of his life. And, you know, he's a father, he's a husband, he's a pastor, he's a community leader, he's a coach. You can put many hats with him, but above all, he's just a great guy to be around, and definitely has an impact on the people that he comes in contact with. So, you know, I'm excited to have him on. I call him my pastor. And I'm just excited to have him on tonight. So if you could, guys, man, share this. Let people know, man, because he has some dynamic information. This is going to be a dynamic conversation, so we want to share this with people. So, hey, go ahead and share that. Start a watch party because there's going to be some valuable information that's going to help you transform your life. So without further ado, I'd like to bring to the stage my Pastor Marcus Dudley.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's happening?
Mama, I made it. That's it. I made it. Mama, I made it. I'm on the big time. I'm on the big screen, man. And I'm so excited. I'm nervous, man. I just want to thank you, man, for giving me this opportunity to share on this wonderful platform, man. You're doing such a dynamic job, man. And so hopefully before this night is over, you'll let me brag on you a little bit and just tell you, just to let people know how valuable and intelligent and just how much you have done and what you are doing. So, yeah, man, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me to Transformation Tuesday, man.
Absolutely. So this is season 2. Season 2, first episode of season 2. You know, no better person to have on right now, August. And, I'm excited that you're on, and we're going to share in this conversation and, let people know, we're always having conversation. In fact, I had a conversation last night. We won't let the people know about that, but it was some funny stuff. But yeah. So what's happening right now? What's happening?
Man, it's a lot happening. Just so thankful. For some reason, I decided that I didn't have enough education. So last year, I started working on my D-Man program at United Theological Seminary. So in the midst of seminary, trying to juggle this pandemic, trying to be a father, trying to be a husband, trying to be a pastor, it's a lot going on. But, we're so thankful and blessed that in spite of everything, God has been good. And so it's a lot going on, but God has graced us to handle it. So we're grateful for that.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's forgot to bring it up. You are in that doctor, soon to be Dr. Marcus Dudley. So yeah, that's oh, you got it. So this idea. I don't want to say I was just sitting around one day. It was someone just, said to me about going, doing Facebook Live. And I started this up and not knowing the direction of it. It's, it's great to have you on at the continuation of it.
Yes.
That speaks to it. So when we're talking about continuation, I want to ask you, because I think people need to know, those that are listening need to know about your journey. And, I want to ask you about your journey, but I want to start from, this, I feel like this pivotal point for you, college to now.
College.
Let the people know about, tell us about your journey. People need to know about their journey.
Yeah. Those of you who know, I may not have know that I grew up in the big city of Coffeeville, Mississippi. And And early on, I kind of felt a call to ministry. I was young and really didn't know how to, articulate and how to act out that call. So I kind of suppressed the call. And so, I wanted to continue my football career. And I had an opportunity to continue to play football at Millsaps College. So I matriculated to Millsaps College in Jackson, Mississippi in 1997. And, I kind of was aware again that God had a call on my life, but, I wasn't ready to come in yet. And so, I got caught up in the college life, football, pledge Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And, just kind of lived a normal teenage life for a year and a half. And it was my second semester of the first semester of my sophomore year that I really felt a strong tug to really get serious. And God had placed me around some dynamic people, one which is Terrence Alexander, who really discipled me, who really loved me, who really helped God mold me into what he was calling me to be. And even then, once you look back over your life, you see how God kind of orchestrates some stuff, how he orders our steps, and how while we think we're going to a certain place for one reason, God has another reason that he sends us to a place. And so here I am at Millsap, predominantly white institution, formed some great relationships, and accepted my call to preach at 19 years old. Preached my first sermon, I want to say December 1999, back at my home church of Moore Chapel. So finished my college year, and and I felt I needed to further my education to kind of give me the tools to do what God. So I graduated in 01, and I went to Duke Seminary, Duke Divinity School at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, and got that degree. And in 04, I was mad at God. I was mad at God because I didn't have no job. I didn't have no wife. And so I had to come back to Coffeeville, Mississippi with all that education, no job, no wife, no prospects. So I'm mad at God. So I ended up working part-time for Green Hill Elementary School in Sardis, Mississippi. And again, God sends you places for a reason. And
right.
Matter of fact, I was working with, not at the time, but soon to be my mother-in-law. So I went to school. I was working with my mother-in-law, and she, and we formed a great relationship at the time. And she was like, "I got a daughter. I want you to meet." And I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Mom, what you trying to do?" I was like, "You gonna have to let what you trying to do, Mom? Trying to put her daughter off of me. I'm trying to see what's going on." I'm like, "Man, yeah, I'm ready to date." I often laugh, man, how God sent me through that period. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Don't leave me out here. But how God had you on that period of isolation, and when don't go together, man. I was, I was asking girls for their phone numbers. They were giving me my phone numbers. I would call them. It would say stuff like "Welcome to Pizza Hut." You know what I'm saying? Then some young ladies, I would. I would call. They said, "Give me a couple of minutes. I'm gonna call you back." That's been about almost 25 years. They still ain't called me back. So don't call me back. So it's like in this season of isolation and preparation. And I never forget what God told me during that time. He was like, "Marcus, you have to be divorced before you can be married." And that messed me up. Because I never been married. I was a young man. I had, I was in some relationship that had been intimate. And what God was telling me, before I send you your wife, before I send you your helpmate, there are some spirits, there's some mentalities that you got to divorce yourself from in order for me to send you who I made for you. And so, make a long story short, working with my mother-in-law, I met my wife October of 04. We were engaged April 05, got married August 05, between that time, I was called to pastor a church in New Orleans, Louisiana. And so here I am in New Orleans, Louisiana, pastoring. Just met I barely knew her, got married, trying to just, and you all know Hurricane Katrina. And so we were down there pastoring, and Hurricane Katrina brought me back to Mississippi. And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't trying to come back to Mississippi, but God had a plan for me coming back to Mississippi. So I ended back in Mississippi, and I actually began attending my home church. And at the time, my pastor became terminally ill. He died, and I became the pastor of my home church, Moore Chapel AME Zion Church, officially in December 2005. So so I stayed there 3 years.
So those that are on, I got my one of the college roommates right here, guys. He said, man, we all been that brother, that Pizza Hut, hashtag Pizza Hut.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Don't leave me out there by me.
So when you started talking, I'm thinking about our journey early on. The first thing I thought about when you started talking, I started thinking about that time we were in Calhoun City, and you pitched that ball to me on that option play. In that corner. That guy went in close.
Man, for some reason, I always felt it was my job to prepare you for the next level. Even as a 9th grader, I saw so much potential in you. And back in the day, we really believed in that tough love. You know how it was. I remember you were at a football game. Man, we were ragging you the whole game. Man, you were killing. Man, one play, you broke about 30 tackles, man, ran about 15, 20 yards, then looked up at us, and we turned our back on you. Like, man, that still ain't nothing. It was our job to push you, man, and man, it worked. Some work. I believe you're a successful man, successful family man, successful educator, entrepreneur. So we prayed that all of that tough love was not in vain.
Right. No, most definitely, because listening to your journey as you're talking, and you're able to pinpoint those moments where you didn't just stay at that place. You're like, look, I don't want to, but God, I'm gonna continue moving because that's what you want in my life. I don't necessarily agree, but that's where you're pushing me, and that's the powerful part of how God prepares us. And I'm just thinking, you've talked about from college, playing football to divinity school, and I remember them long rides. We left North Carolina.
Yeah.
To the point where you made that transition of getting married to going to New Orleans to coming back up. My question is, because now you have multiple roles. We talked about being a husband, being a father, being a pastor, being a mentor. So, those that are online, I think it's important for all of us. How do you balance your life wearing those multiple hats?
Well, the easy, the cliche answer is by the grace of God. The honest answer is it takes work. Some seasons are better than others, but in order to effectively or to be effective in all that which God has called you to be, the first thing you got to do is you got to learn how to be disciplined. You got to learn how to be disciplined, how to be regimented, and that's one of the things I'm still working on. I'm a work in progress on in that area, but one of the things I've learned is that you really got to tell your time what to do. Just like money, you really got to tell your time what to do. And so one of the things I try to do is I try to plan out my whole week on Sunday evening. And so I try to tell my time where to go. Okay, this is my prayer time with God. This is when I'm going to do this. This is when I'm going to do that. I have days set aside, the weekend as a pastor, I'm getting ready, pastor, preach, deliver the word. So Monday is kind of like my Sabbath where I just rest. Tuesday I try to do church stuff. Wednesday, Bible study. Monday is also the time I try to spend with my family. Non-negotiable, spending quality time with your family. And Friday on the weekends, kind of, I try to do date night, and all of this, is work in progress. But what I've learned to effectively, balance is you got to regiment, you got to schedule your life, you got to tell your time where to go. And again, just like money, if you don't tell money or time where to go, it'll get away from you. You won't know what's gone. You don't know what's going on. And so, man, just the honest answer, man, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. I just try to make a habit of not letting one thing get neglected all the time. If you understand what I'm saying, there'll be seasons where you're quite natural that you'll give more energy and effort to an area, but you just want to make sure that you're not always giving more energy, effort, attention to one area to the neglect, the serious neglect of another area. And so it takes discipline and regimentation and just telling your time where to go.
And that's what, the listeners on the line, that's what, to hear that, I think is important, because time, I try to talk about time management, but you can't tell time what to do.
Right.
So we need to hear that, it's important. It's important to have those things in place. So those that are listening, man, put that in the comment, man. Number one, we got discipline. Those that are aligned, here's got Nikki's his cousin out of Maryland. I might have messed it up right there. I'm gonna say Maryland. If I messed it up, TJ, my bad, man. It's Nikki's cousin right there. So he's definitely giving you some muscles on that one, man. So
and you said something. Just want to piggyback real quick. Is you right? We can't control time. We can only manage it.
Right.
We can only manage it. We can't control it. We can only manage it. And so it's up to us to manage it. And when you really look at it, it's not a matter you don't have time, you don't have management, or you don't have priorities. Because you make time for what's a priority. And so, I just kind of want to put it out there, it's no such thing as you don't have time, you don't have management, or you don't have priority.
We're gonna have to delete that from the session just in case Nikki hears that right there, man. You give it too much power, man. You give it too much power, man.
It's your show, man. Whatever. Hey.
She gonna explicitly say, you heard Pastor Dudley say, so hey, we're gonna in my editing section.
I ain't mean to set you up, man.
So we're looking at this balancing of a life and being real with ourselves. You talked about going from pastoring a church, leaving New Orleans, and at a particular time, it was a time that you became pastor of your home church. So talk about this, in your own words, this transition to you pastoring your home church to going to starting your own ministry, and talk about that and give us some lessons, because people start stuff, but they need to hear from people that have started stuff.
Man, I've just always operated at a level of faith in this sense. when I felt and when I really got in my spirit that God was saying a thing, no matter what it looked like, no matter how it felt, no matter what I thought I lacked, I moved on faith based on what I heard God say. Just to go to Duke by myself was a faith move. You know, and I remember if I can just go back, I remember, you know, when I was getting ready to go to Duke, you know, I was, you know, needing money to move and needing money to get a place. And I was at a place where, man, I was just beginning to like, God, man, I got so much. I ain't got this, I ain't got that. And I literally went in the closet, because I used to hear, you know, the old saints said, still away in your secret closet. Man, I went in that closet and I went in there to quote unquote tell God off. Man, I just told God, God, you told me you done made this, you calling me to go to this. You go, but I ain't got this, I ain't got that. Man, you know what God told me? It was one of those moments. God told me, he said, it's hard for you to have faith in somebody that you don't trust.
Wow.
He says, hard for you to have faith in somebody you don't trust. He was like, either you're going to trust me or you're not. Man, not knowing that I was having that conversation with God, my auntie, Claudette McClure, I'll never forget. She called me over and said, the Lord laid on my heart. Tony, she went out and took a $1,500 loan out and loaned me enough money to rent a U-Haul and gave me some expenses to move and to stay. Hadn't said nothing to her, but my conversation with God and just letting God, and God saying, if you're going to trust me, trust me. And leaving that place saying, God, I trust you. He had already made provision. And so this transition, it has been one of trust and faith. When I went to New Orleans, it was like, man, and when God called me back home, and when I stepped out, and the story of transition, because I always wrestled, you know, I was born and raised in Zion, loved Zion. I didn't have no problem with Zion, but I just felt like God was always calling me to something different. And so after 3 years of what I call successful ministry at Morris Chapel, AME Zion Church, I was looking forward to building, and God just placed in my heart that you have done all you can do there. You have done all you can do in this capacity. And it's time for you to do something new. And man, when I tell you, man, that wasn't an easy decision, because God had blessed me. Man, I was with family, and I gotta be honest, man. You know how it is to pastor your family, but I really didn't have no bad incidents. I really didn't have no bad members. You had some people, but I really didn't have. And the salary was excellent at that time, and so I remember, like, God, you want me to leave this place of security and to go out into unknown? And then that's what, another one of the things I believe God told me. He said, sometimes we'll miss what he has in his hand because we refuse to let go of what we have in ours.
Well,
and so when we try to hold on to our stuff, it delays God in releasing what he has in his hands for us. And so, man, after much prayer, man, after, just really just getting in my spirit, this is what God has said. I met with my family first. I met with my immediate family, told them what my plans were, and that I was leaving. Didn't know what I was gonna do at the time, but I just said, I know my time is up. And during that time, the Lord had placed on my heart to start a ministry there in Coffeeville, Mississippi, and there was a vacant building there. And cut me off when you want to, because man, it's just so much. God was just so visible in there, because we purchased it was a skating rink. Y'all know, the people from Coffeeville know it was a vacant skating rink, and the guy who owned it, he was like, I own it, finance it for you. But I need you got to give me 10% down, which was $10,000. I had some money, but that's when the economic bubble bust, the bottom fell out financially, banks weren't lending. And I didn't have a job at that time. And so, I had a little money, but I didn't want to deplete my finances. So I told the guy, I said, listen, I met him. I had that conversation that Wednesday when he was saying, listen, you give me $5, I'll give you the key and let you come in and start working. And man, some told me to tell that man. I looked that man in the eye, Tony, and told him I have all $10,000 for you Friday. Didn't know where I was gonna get it from. Didn't know how I was gonna get it. Wow. But I remember Thursday night. I remember Wednesday night. I just told the Lord, I said, Lord, I did what you wanted me to do. It's in your hand. So early Thursday morning, the Lord put on my heart to go and talk to one of the trustees of the church I just left.
Right. Yeah.
Tell him the vision and ask him to borrow $10,000. So here I was. I jumped up. Man, I went and picked him up. I rode him about the building, showed him what the building was, and told him my vision. As I asked him, I said, I want to know, can I borrow $10,000? He looked at me and he said, I don't know why not, but I'm going to ask my wife. Went back, wrote me a check for $10,000. And when I had the check in my hand, when I got back in the car, I left quick. I ain't wanting to change his mind. So I remember going down the road, looking at this $10,000 check, just shaking and calling Kenya and like, man, he wrote me a $10,000 check. And so when I went in and saw the owner of the building Friday, I gave him the check and he looked at it. And he said, I thought it was for $5. I said, no, I will give you the whole 10. And I got the key. And then I got the building. And then I got depressed again because I ain't had no money. I ain't know how I was going to fix it, turn that building into a church. But God made a way again. So, I just heard God. It was just God calling me, trusting God to believe Him and just, and I just, there are some, some things that, I feel like God was telling me, that we need to move. There's some areas that we need to move in, and hence the name Kingdom Movement and some stuff like this. So, I feel like I'm talking too much, so I'm gonna let you ask some.
No. It's good because people don't know people's story. They don't know the behind the scene things. They don't know all these things. But everybody's faith is not built the same, or it's not not established the same way. So to see this how God has moved in your life, because how many people go up and ask for $20? You're talking about $10,000, right? Somebody look at you.
Man. I was like, when I got it, I was scared. I asked him, I'm like, man, what was I thinking about? I was like, man, but I put it in the bank before he changed his mind. Man. I got it now. So I got it now. So, man, it was just a faith move in God. One of the guys we grew up with, he framed it out for us, gave us an incredible deal. My dad was very instrumental. My family financially, they were invested in it, divested in it. And so, we always hear that God is a rewarder and a vindicator of faith. And there were moments, man, that God vindicated, because I think around that time, it was unheard of to start a non-denominational church in the area. I think that when we launched out, we were the first one to start a non-denominational church, and man, you wouldn't believe some of the opposition that came up against us, and some of the accusations and some of the stuff that was put out in the community, because I think that when people don't understand a thing, their first reaction is fear. And so, and I think that's kind of what it was. I don't know what people thought I was getting ready to do, but man, it was some trying times, some difficult times, but man, the grace of God really shined through some of those dark points.
Right, absolutely, definitely, I agree. God is so faithful and good.
He's good,
absolutely.
Faithful. I'm a living witness. I'm a living witness. I am.
Absolutely. So, I think I know that there's a lot of value in what you said, because, I jokingly said people, are scared to ask for $20, or people are scared to ask for anything because of the fear of rejection.
Right.
But to hear you, it established, now, don't mean now, don't go now. He is not saying, God, if you're not led, now don't go out there asking folks, but he was.
He told the tech, now don't use me. Don't use me. Or Minister Kimball, don't use them. Get mad at us. Go ahead, man. You're right. When you felt led, and when God put that, put it in your spirit, then you got to act on what God, places in your spirit.
Absolutely. And there's so many lessons in that, because it's not, and like, I'm just thinking through it right now as you were talking, like, it's all we have to do is just go and ask. And God feels this part right here where he talks about substance, this substance that's there, that he does it, but all we got to do is just go, actively go and do it. And that's the narrative that I'm hearing, that you continue to push through. It wasn't easy, and you continue to push through. That's a lesson within itself. Like, that's keep pushing through. If God said it,
and I shared this with the Sunday school class. I remember the Bible talks about when God was delivering Israel out of Egypt. He specifically said, I'm going to take you all the long way around, even though there's a shorter route through, I want to say, the Amorites or the Amalekites territory. I'm going to take you the long way around, because I don't want you to encounter war and become discouraged, summarize and paraphrase. Mm-hmm. And that's been the story of my life, Minister Kimball. It looked like God has always taken me the long way around. And I was just, I was just laughing at it, but I was like, man, I was always on the bad teams. I was on that team in Coffeeville that didn't win a game, and then the next year won one game. I was like, God, what are you trying? I was always in the crazy group in school. I'm the only one doing work. I'm like, God, wait a minute, God, what are you doing? And what God does in taking us the long way around is he does that to develop us. He does that to mold us and to shape us, to produce character in us. And he shows us that there's a connection between what goes before and what is coming after. And so oftentimes, and if I may, I would just want to, interject that word there. Don't lose faith in the before, because there's a connection with what you're going through now and before that's going to connect you to what God is getting ready to do in your life. It's all development. It's all molding and making. And even though it don't feel good at the time, it's making you better, because, God, while we're thinking about it, that's the perseverance. That's that tenacity. That's that persistence. You work close with me. You've been working close with me, and you kind of saw that. You kind of, you've been in position. You were able to really see my heart. And you see how I tick and how I feel about some of this stuff. So how I'm wired, and I believe God sending me the long way around, was pivotal in wiring me that way.
Absolutely. Let's take a couple of comments. Carol Pascal said, "I'm so glad God gave you the vision."
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, Let's see who else we got out here. All right. I don't want to mispronounce that, but amen.
Amen, bro.
Hey. So we talk about the lessons. We talk about, people that are listening are understanding that, it develops. If you go the other way, it may not be that straight path, but if you go the other way, how it's important that God's developing something in you that, we don't realize. But it's like when we look back, it's like, oh man, God, you was developing that in me. So that's important. So, my next question is, what does ministry look like in the future? All these things, everything that's happening, making the adjustments. So, let the listeners know, kind of your thoughts on, what ministry looks like in the future.
I believe, one of the things the Lord was laying on my heart is, and I kind of preached this before the pandemic, is the church has to go back and recover and get what it has lost over the years. Mm-hmm. And one of the things the Lord was laying on my heart was to start back really pastoring the people and loving the people. I don't want to broad brush ministries or ministers, but I think that sometimes in order to meet budgets, in order to meet deadlines, in order to meet all kind of stuff, the people can get lost in it. Right. And our jobs to love the people, our jobs to care for the people, our jobs to disciple the people can get lost in that. And so I think one of the things what church look like going forward is we really got to get back to the place where we really start loving people. Mm-hmm. Where we start loving people, where we start providing ministry for people, where we equip them, where we empower them, where we educate them, where the church becomes what God intended it to be in the first place, a spiritual hospital, a spiritual job training center, a spiritual place where people can come and not only to get served, but get all their needs met and to be prepared to go back out into a evil, dark world. And I know with social distancing and COVID-19, pastors are going to have to use the technology that God has placed at our disposal. But I think one of the things we really got to do is we got to really get back to pastoring people. We got to really get back to loving people and stop putting a numerical value or a financial value on people, and really just love people, show them you care, and provide ministry. And so, that's what I'm trying to do. And, and it's, there's challenges, but I think that's what the church has to get back to being what God intended her to be in the first place. And so I think most of our going forward is going to take us going back.
And that's important of understanding that when we talk about direction, sometimes we think about, these physical steps that you take. Mm-hmm. But to go back and do this first thing you talked about of loving people and going back, because sometimes it's, from the standpoint, and you spoke about it earlier, being behind the scenes, you understand the part of pastoring. You there's no desire to sit in the seat, but
don't tell off on me now.
No, I don't mean it that way. I mean, it's a job that sometimes people they have a linear, they don't have this broad view from. They see one side and they make a judgment call from this one side. But when you begin to see this from a 360 view, you begin to look at things differently. That you're careful because you're like, well, You don't know. In this one, number one, when you says loving people, that's a part that when you talk about the church, that's important.
Right.
Because that's essentially what people are looking for. The loving part and the pastoring people. And that's just being frank and honest with, that's being frank and honest. And sometimes that's hard for pastors to make statements like that, but it's important to go back and get, it's like what you just said, man. Yeah. That's on my little notepad I got beside me right here. That's important.
Because sometimes, I talk about back forward. Sometimes you got to go back in order to go forward. Sometimes you got to go back and get stuff. Sometimes you got to go back and confront areas of your life. Sometimes you got to go back and forgive people, and because it's a difference between going on and moving on.
Right.
And I think sometimes we go on without really moving on. And sometimes you got to go back and deal with us. Sometimes we got to go back and deal with those traumatic areas, incidences in our life that we try to forget, that we try to, intentionally forget. And sometimes that stuff keep us from moving forward. And so just like the church, there are some things that I think the church got away from, for whatever reason, that we as the body of Christ need to go back and get.
Absolutely. So speaking of that, one of my last questions is, this is transforming lives.
Right.
My question is, what is a transformed life?
A transformed life to me is a life that is continually growing, a life that is continually moving forward. It's not a perfect life, but it's a practicing life. I don't think God calls us to be perfect, but he does call us to practice to the point of perfection. And so I think that, a transformed life is a life that's always moving forward in what I call 5 areas. First of all, it's maturing spiritually. Are we getting closer to God? How's our devotional life? Are we reading scripture? Are we doing what we're supposed to do? It's maturing physically. Are you taking care of your temple? Because sometimes what we do is we will neglect our physical because we think our spiritual will compensate for our neglect. And so, somebody said that we are responsible for our health, but God is responsible for our healing. And so we can't neglect our area of healing. Our area of health, and then want God to heal us. We got to always be growing. We got to always be growing. And even me, as an active young man and been active all my life, I was diagnosed with diabetes a couple years ago. And man, and I'm like, man, I ain't got diabetes. I ain't got diabetes. I ain't got it. And I was telling people, I got it a little bit. No, either you got it or you don't. And you got to do something to change it. And so you got to grow spiritually, physically, financially, financially. We ought to be moving forward financially. Again, you don't have a money problem. We have a management problem.
Yeah.
Manage. Then I would say emotionally or mentally. What are you doing to grow emotionally or mentally? What are you allowing into your eye gates, your ear gates, your mouth gate, your heart gate that is either contributing to your health, your peace, your sanity, or that's contributing to the lack of the loss of your health, peace of sanity. So we gotta be growing, and then lastly, I think that we always need to be moving forward. A transformed life is a life that's growing in the area of relationships. Relationships matter. My good friend, Pastor Darius Daniels, he says that relationships bring you the greatest joy and they can bring you the greatest pain. Relationship is the only thing that can have you singing "Let's Get It On" Friday night and Lord, I stretch my hand to you on Sunday morning. Just that quick. You know, that's the relationship, that the thing that brings you the most joy is the thing that brings you the most pain. And the older you get, you know, we can't keep gambling with our emotions by way of relationships. You know, you got to be careful. And so that's what I believe a transformed life is, a life that is constantly evaluating those 5 areas, doing what's necessary to move forward, which is examination, elimination, application, and then I think execution. You know, so that's what I think a transformed life is, to be continually growing, maturing, moving forward.
I appreciate that knock upside the head. Okay. Yeah. Appreciate that knock upside the head. Yeah. So you still, yeah. All right. let me get down to this 2-minute bliss, because you packed me on that. But these are powerful things that people definitely need to we all need to look at in these areas, because these are the areas that we have the most discomfort, or we have the most problems in.
Right.
So we need some love. So all right. So name something that makes you happy.
Family. Love family. Love being around family.
Right.
Family.
Absolutely.
Family. I love family, man. Take family and friends serious. So good, wholesome time around family and friends make me so happy.
Speaking of that, man, I saw Coach Jackson on here, man. Ain't no way I can get him on. I'll get him on, man. We have to.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey, still watching, man. We have to get him on here. All right,
come on, man.
We're going to have to get Coach Jackson, man. We see you on here, dog. I see you on here. I'm going to try to escape, man. We're going to get you on here. So what you reading? I know you're in a doctoral program.
Man,
I know.
What am I not reading? Reading Politics of Jesus. I'm reading The Fire Within, James Baldwin. I'm reading The Prophetic Jesus. I'm reading what else is I'm reading? I'm going back. I'm reading Too Busy Not to Pray. Good book. I'm reading the Bible. You know, I'm reading the Bible. What else am I? Man, I got so much. What else am I reading? Yeah, it's a lot of doctoral stuff, man. Yeah, a lot of doctoral stuff. I'm reading about Walter Rauschenbach, a couple books by him, Social Gospel in the 21st Century. Yeah, so I'm reading a lot, man. I'm reading a lot. A lot of good stuff. But it's academic. It's geared toward academic at this moment, outside the Bible.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely. I don't know that guy's name, but he you got to spell that one out for me.
Walter Rauschenbach. I put it. Yeah. I can just say it, man. You know, my wife is a speech therapist. I'm her best student. So she has to work with me, boy. Oh, that mercy.
Coach Jackson said, "Man, I'm gonna stay quiet on this one, man." He said, "I'm gonna stay quiet." He said, "Don't worry, Coach. Go give you a little time." I got Robin right here. Robin, man, I didn't read that, man. Robin, stop playing, man. Yeah, he dropping. He dropping some knowledge, man. He said he be dropping. He dropping some knowledge, Robin. Chill out, man.
Man, yeah, Robert, I ain't gonna address him on this meeting, but I get him though.
I ain't read it at first. That's 3 words you want to leave with the viewers.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it. As in, don't miss opportunities. I think opportunities are windows that open and close, and so Don't miss it. Whatever God is trying to do in you and through you in this season, please don't miss it. Don't miss it. I think that the pandemic has been challenging. It has been difficult in certain areas, but I believe that if we allow God to navigate us and to handle it right, I believe that some of us, this pandemic will be the cause of some of the greatest blessing we've ever experienced. That if we trust God and just allow God to bring good out of what's potentially bad. So don't miss it. Whatever God is trying to do, whatever God is trying to get you to, write the book. Don't miss it. Go back to school. Start the business. Don't miss it. I think that's 3, right? Don't miss it.
Right, man. No, that's good, man. That's good. Carol says she's not. So I'm not gonna miss it. So definitely, you let us know how Sundays, Kingdom Movement Church. Tell us how the viewers can reach you.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to, I just want to, those of you who may not know, Minister Kimball was very instrumental. Man, he was my right-hand man, still is my right-hand man. And so he kind of made sure he freed me to pastor. And so he did so much, very valuable, man. And I just want to thank you. Sometimes, you need to give people their flowers while other people are around. So, man, I just want to thank you for what you've done. So we are doing church online virtual worship every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. This month, we are planning some park and praise service. But this week, there are two what I call ministry opportunities. We are having a food box giveaway on Thursday morning, a fresh fruit and vegetable box on Thursday from 11 to 2. So anybody in the Coffeeville, Waller Valley, Oakland, Grenada area will be giving away food boxes. And on Friday night in 7:30, we're trying to do something new. We bought a 15 feet inflatable screen, and we're going to do a drive-up movie night on Friday night. So we're asking open to the community. So we're going to play a family-friendly movie, y'all. We can't play Life. We can't play Friday. It's a church. I want y'all to understand it's going to be family-friendly. So it's a church. But we want people to come and just enjoy. We're gonna socially distance, but we still want to give people opportunity to experience some type of enjoyment. So Friday at 7:30, y'all come out. We're going to watch a drive-up movie, and so that's what we're looking forward to. And so so that's where we are now, virtual on Sundays at 10, and we do have Zoom Sunday School and Zoom Bible study on Wednesday. If anybody's interested, reach out and we can give you a link.
Well, most definitely, Pastor Dudley, we thank you because you gave us some valuable information and reiterated some stuff that So So reiterated some stuff that I needed to hear. And I appreciate that, and I thank you for. It's just we're cousins. We know each other. We've been through the ring or whatever, but it just speaks to now of coming on where I'm trying to share something with others, but it's still you're sharing something with me to reinforce something that needs to be reinforced in my life. So I appreciate that.
Man, you're doing an excellent job, man. You're doing a wonderful job. Y'all, this guy, I tell you, man, y'all hadn't been fully introduced to him. This medium is introducing in some capacity to him, but man, he got so much more to offer. And I mean, he tell you, I always tell him and encourage him. He has so much to offer, and so we're really looking forward to what God will continue to do through you. Man, they will know your name. That's what I will say. People will know your name, and I'm excited about that.
You ain't gonna get me on here crying, brother. Let me get off here.
Don't
I
cry.
appreciate it, but ain't gonna be no crying, man.
Twins and hit you under that field goal post. Don't cry like that, man.
Hey, man, I need to find where that brother at, man. Hey, I'm about to get my.
Hey, don't cry like that, man. That's over with. Quit, man. Come on back out here, man. Don't quit, man. Come on back out here.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Hey, look, we're gonna get off, man. Look what he done left on here, man. It's time to get off, man. It's time.
Man, this has been fun, man. Thank you again for getting mad. It's good catching up with you, man. And spending this time, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm really honored that you would invite me on, man. I don't take it lightly, man. So I'm really honored that you brought me on, man. Great work, man. Look forward to what God is doing in the future, man.
Thank you, man. And thank you for the the multiple words you gave me on the night. Thank you. Love you, man. And
love you too, bro.
We'll be talking with you, man. Thank you for joining us.
Peace out. Love y'all. Have a great night.